Tony Tokumbo Fernandez. You know we get him out.
Hello, my name is Tony Tokumbo Fernandez of Africa4U in collaboration with Zimlink. It's 2014, and as promised, we're back once again with a bang, talking to black role models, community leaders, and people making a big difference within our community. And today we're joined in the studio by a very profound writer. Her name is Clarissa. Welcome to Africa4U. How are you today?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well. I'm sure the listeners around the world are keen to know more about yourself, your background, and what you're most passionate about in life.
Okay. Well, my name is Clarissa Mudukuti, and I am in my 30s. I shan't reveal whereabouts. So I actually live and work in the UK at the moment, and I also write books. I write books on African heroes, African political figures. For example, I've written on Kwame Nkrumah, the work he did, the things he spoke about, and the things that we need to implement as Africans going forward. Now, this book is directly for the youth, for young ones who, for example, born in the UK, grew up in the UK, and don't know much about Africa or haven't been to Africa, so are not really confident about, African politics or African way of life. So this book, Kwame Nkrumah, the Man, written by myself, talks about Kwame Nkrumah's vision for Africa, what he wanted done for Africa, and how it never came to pass then, but how we can still do it now. So that's in a nutshell, about myself and what I've done so far.
What is it about Mr. Kwame Nkrumah that really inspires you as a person?
It's his vision for Africa, what he foresaw for Africa, and how he really spearheaded the liberation struggle for Africa, throughout Africa. As we know, Ghana was the first country to gain its independence in the African continent. So his love wasn't just for his own country, but for the whole of Africa. So a man like that, with a vision like that, we have to recognize, we have to pay more attention and really look into what he spoke about or what he wrote about, so that we could actually take his vision forward. I mean, Africa is independent now, with the last country, Sudan, getting its independence. But we still have a long way to go in terms of economic empowerment, economic independence before empowerment, and in ways of, stability, political stability, religious stability, infrastructure, and so on. So they nicknamed him the prophet for Africa, and we really still have a lot of work to do.
Now, tell me, how did you get into writing yourself?
I've always been interested in writing as a youngster, and I've always, I'm not forced, but my parents used to watch the news at 8 o'clock every night, so I sat with them. And from listening to the news, listening to what's going on around the world, and then obviously listening to other political figures, my own political figure, Robert Mugabe, I was interested in the work they're doing for Africa, and the work that has already been done, and also in our history. So I thought it'd be good to just keep a monologue, so to speak, or write about it. So I used to do that as a youngster, and then as an adult now, I'd like to educate or inform the ones coming after me, so they're more informed about the state of affairs.
Now, you did emphasize a bit about a big void in Africa in terms of people making a difference, or the lack of people making a difference in such a beautiful continent. As a writer, what role do you feel you have to play?
I feel I have the role of actually looking at individual political figures, looking at the men and women that have been put into power in each country, looking at the work they've done, the mistakes they've made, the successes they've had, and scrutinizing it, and actually learning from that, picking up learning points from that. We can only learn from past mistakes. We can only learn from our, current leaders or leaders from before. So it's important to look at the work they've done, the choices they made, the way they conducted their affairs, personal and, affairs in the office, and really build a better person, so to speak, or better political spectrum, so that the younger ones could perform better. So I feel that's my role. So just highlighting the do's, the don'ts, the good and the bad of each political leader.
I understand you also belong to an initiative called African Arts Council. What's that all about?
Well, African Arts Council, that really highlights successful African artists. It could be sculptures, it could be in book form, it could be artists, movie directors, actresses, actors, and it just really puts a spotlight on the good things that are coming from Africans. I do communicate with the founders of African Art Council, Rutendo, quite a lot. So she's doing a very good job in connecting Africans who are doing great things within Africa from any country, and really introducing and networking, which is really important, so that we all know what we're doing, so we can all lift each other up, and we can all really just celebrate our successes, not in isolation, but as a continent. Which, going back to Kwame Nkrumah, that was what he also spearheaded. He wanted us to come together as one, not as individuals. So I really am grateful and thankful for the work that Rutendo and her company are doing in terms of bringing Africans together.
Tell me more about this colorful book, Kwame Nkrumah, the Man.
Well, this book is specifically for the youth, to educate them on Kwame Nkrumah, who was a very prolific hero, very visionary, a very good visionary, and a man that was concerned with the liberation of the whole of Africa. He put down a lot of blueprints that we can actually still refer to today for a better Africa. So this book really is targeted for the youth, or to the youth. It gives them a introduction to this great man and the work that he did. And my hope is that after reading this book, they will be able to go back themselves and investigate more about Kwame Nkrumah and the work he did, and run with his vision. So really, it's concise. It's not a thick book. It's got medium print, to keep the young ones entertained, and it really just gives them a brief introduction to this great man.
Where can people get hold of this book?
This book is found currently on Amazon. It will be in shops, say 2015, throughout some African countries, but at the moment it's on Amazon.com.
Tell me, what projects have you got lined up for 2014?
2014 is a fantastic year. Aside from promoting Kwame Nkrumah, the man, I'm also writing a new book, and the title is a secret for the moment. You all find out when it comes out, but there's still a lot of promotional work to do with the book. Because the book is actually for the youth, for young ones, I still have to go out there and promote it and speak to young Africans, or Africans in the diaspora and Africans, and tell them about such heroes. Not only speak about Kwame Nkrumah, but I also do motivational classes. So, for example, it could be young ones growing up not knowing what they want to do, what they want to do in life, what their passion is, or how to conduct their affairs. I just speak to them, usually in a large setting, and just give them pointers on how to direct and steer their lives into a more productive, successful life. But the main thing I emphasize on these at these motivational talks is, don't waste time. Time is important. Time is a gem. Make sure that you prepare. If you don't prepare, you will fail. So it's just motivating them, encouraging them, and giving them a bit of hope and direction as to what they'd want to pursue in life.
Now, for all our viewers around the world today, if they want to learn more about you, are there any social media platforms out there?
Yes, there are plenty of media platforms. We've got Zimlink. We've got your media platform as well. I'm on Facebook. My website is currently under construction. That will be coming up shortly. But at the moment, for my work, the book entitled Kwame Nkrumah, the Man, that's found on Amazon, so you can purchase that on Amazon. But so far, I am on I think your network, actually, I'm really highlighted on your network. So, yeah, more networks to come, more exposure to come. Watch this space.
Watch this space. On a very final note, what message do you have for Africans around the world today?
Wow, Africans around the world, if we can just come together, regardless of what region or what country you're from, come together, sit down together. Let's plan for our future, our children. Our parents before us never really did that, to be quite honest, and that's why we're still where we are in Africa. But if we sit down, come together, put our heads together, so that our children will have a better Africa.
Keep me posted of all the great work you're doing.
Definitely.
And I'll catch you next time.
The exchange of information and knowledge through film and media. It's Zimlink, baby.